Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy Sunday to join me. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys had a safe and, comfortable Saturday night. You feel me? I appreciate all the new subs, all the new views. Let's get into what we're talking about tonight on VlogsBoutNothin. And so tonight, we're talking about what we have to talk about. And obviously, last night was not a good night for former President Donald Trump. Listen, I've advocated on the program here before, and here's again my public opinion on how I perceive what happened last night to be unjust, wrong, and just counterintuitive, counter progressive towards actual change. And so we've talked about how the channel feels, how I feel when it comes to the January 6th riots in 2020, and the fact that I believe it to be, treasonous in nature and all of this stuff. And we can continue to talk about the politics, but we're not going to. Instead, we're going to talk about the people. The people. There's actual people that are involved in politics. And now, I understand that, and with all due respect, y'all, we all have our political ideologies, but oftentimes religion and politics are conversations we stay away from just because, people can get a certain kind of way about it. But, here on the channel, although I am a religious person, in a secular kind of a way, in the most humanistic sort of perspective that I can gather or garnish from myself, is that, I don't believe I'm anti-war. I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe in violence. I don't condone retaliatory behavior in a physical kind of way in any instance, in all circumstances in life, because of the problems that it brings and the never-ending perpetuity of which is just, it's a bad situation, and I'm trying to do as many positive and good things moving forward and so forth, at least ideologically speaking. That's kind of where I stand. We cannot stand as any sovereign citizens of any country in a modern world or in any kind of setup where we are attempting to unlive our elected political leaders. Now, again, not politics, but what happened last night could have been a lot worse. And a former sitting president who's currently running for president again, could have literally been executed on live television. Like, the ramifications of the negative impacts that could have come from last night, as it concerns the children that were there to witness, as it concerns the people, not just the children, but everybody, but more importantly, the children, obviously, the people watching on TV, it would have been real bad. And obviously, to say that you want somebody to get hurt, I think is weird in any kind of a way, just because you don't agree with some of the things that they're saying, or anything that they're saying. And furthermore, I think it's absolute lunacy to want to kill somebody over how you feel about that kind of person. There's just, to me, and I'm not a doctor, but I think there's something wrong with that kind of thinking, because the standard is people have opinions, and people are going to try to get you riled up, and people are going to communicate in this manner because it elicits a response. And quite often people are always looking for responses. In the communicative cycle, it's a required sort of thing that must take place to fully send that circle on through. But I just can't stress any more than saying the things we've already said and the things that we continue to advocate and promote for on this channel. I'm not in any kind of a way thinking to myself that everybody thinks the way that I think, because I know that's simply not the case. But I really feel like, fundamentally speaking, we don't want people to be unlived in front of us or at any point. But the political leaders, or the politicians, need to be out in the world engaging with people. This is, in fact, the only thing that they do. This is their job, is to literally go out into the world, meet people, present a physical presence, make people feel comfortable, vibe with them. I mean, again, this is just all politics 101, but when you set up a system in which, listen, Uncle Sam already controls the show, right? We already know who's in charge. So to poke the bear, you feel me, in any kind of a way in that sense, because we're an established country, and I understand that people want change, and that's absolutely required in a democratic republic. Change, ever going change. But to say that what we have going on down here isn't one of arguably the best social sort of experiments that's happened in modern recorded history would be false, because America should be an incubator of progressive policies that account for safety and that account for different opinions and ideologies without people getting violent, without people wanting to climb up on rooftop buildings from 140 yards away and try to shoot a former sitting president because of how they feel about a situation. Again, I get it. Politics make people feel a kind of way. Like, I understand that. We get upset sometimes. We are emotional beings. I wish there was an excuse for us, but unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are in fact Homo sapiens. And along with that comes this incessant sort of emotional attachment to some of the ideas that we carry with us through life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would ask and or request that people try to be a little bit more flexible, especially as you get older, and in the kind of way that you think and you accept new ideas and so forth. That's the only way this experiment's going to work, right? Because otherwise you get a bunch of vigilantes out there running around thinking that they're going to change the world single-handedly by bringing upon more death. Again, it's a fool's errand, and there will be nothing accomplished by trying to assassinate any politician. It's in fact the antithesis to sort of how elected officials must be treated in a world where, check this out, folks, we only have ourselves to blame as constituents and as voting citizens who literally elect these people. We elect them. Whether or not you want to say, people conspire, collude, cheat, at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own actions as a society, and we have dictated what people we want to be in charge. And I think that we can all kind of agree that we obviously make mistakes. Another part of being a human being. It's one of those things, Nonetheless, what happened to Donald Trump last night cannot be condoned, will not be condoned, and should not ever be a driving, motivating factor for anyone wanting to pursue change. That will not change anything, ladies and gentlemen. It will, in fact, do only one thing, without a doubt, and unequivocally: bring more death into a world that is already surrounded by Mr. Reaper himself, I mean, between Mr. Reaper and Uncle Sam, you feel me, on a real dark kind of a note, we already got a lot to deal with all over the world. And so to add fuel to the fire, again, is just foolish. And we should not do that. We should not condone it. And we should definitely move forward in an atmosphere of which can be, more reminiscent of like 2012 Mitt Romney, Barack Obama kind of debate platform stage, where you're cordial to one another, where you respect each other, where you actually want to participate in a system that can be better for you if you want it to be. But one way to not make it better is to call Mr. Reaper on down because you feel a certain kind of way about an elected official. If you want to feel a certain way about an elected official, here's a thought for you. Go to the mirror and look at it. You will then see the reflection of yourself, and that's an accurate statement in that We elect these guys. You put them there. I put them there. We put them there. So separate the politics from the people. And for just one moment, understand that what happened last night was an awful thing. We should all be thanking something that the guy didn't pass away, because that would have been worse for an already terrible situation. So, yep. Obviously, condolences to the firefighter and his family who lost their lives as spectators last night, and also to the two people who were critically injured. And I, again, hope for former President Donald Trump to have a speedy recovery, just as much as I hope that those two people who were critically injured are able to survive. And once more, to the firefighter who shielded his family with his own body. Hats off to you, cowboy. Seriously, it's a good decision. It's really bad that you're not here anymore, and I'm a complete stranger saying this, but, we'll miss you, and I don't even know you, man, but what you did was the right thing. So, have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next video.